Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to have the next tasting of beer number 8 in my 2-hop series featuring Cascade and Centennial. This is Cascade Centennial First Wort Hop. Now, what is First Wort Hop? When you start draining your mash out into your kettle is when you add hops. Now, from doing some reading on this, usually you use the end of boil hops. Yes, you're going to get a little bit more IBUs, bitterness into that beer, because at that point, you're going to be boiling them for the full hour. But what it's supposed to do is give more of a smooth flavor and not a rocky flavor to it. But I wanted to see both ways. So beer number 8, small batch, 1.25 gallons going into the carboy. Grain bill, 2 pounds, 4 ounces of 2-row. Then for the First Wort Hop, 0.25 ounces of Cascade. Then in the boil, 0.25 ounces at 10 minutes of Centennial. 0.25 ounces of Cascade at 5. 3 days into fermentation, 0.25 ounces of each Cascade and Centennial. So this was bottled on 9/15, 2019. This is July 2020. 6.93% ABV. I have been doing this on a couple of my other beers, like that use Warrior, and I've been testing it with Nugget to put it in for that First Wort Hop to see if it smoothed it out any or what it did. So it's up to you. You're not going to hurt anything. Per Beersmith, because I did write it down on this one, IBUs are 33.4. Standard IBUs would be 31.2. So with that, and this is just going by Beersmith, you're not adding, let's just say, 2 bitterness units by putting it in at the First Wort Hop instead of the 60 minutes. Now, the Cascade is 4.4%. I haven't looked on a high alpha acid like a Warrior or something like that to see if that number does jump a lot, as in First Wort versus 60 minutes. So I'll have to look at that. My bet is it's probably gonna change. The bigger the alpha acid, the higher the IBUs are gonna be if you use First Wort hops. But hey, I don't know, because usually, what is it, hop utilization or the bitterness doesn't start until like 190. So maybe it's not gonna add that much, because Whirlpool you usually do around under 190. I usually do mine at 170. So maybe it's not going to add that much, and if the flavor is going to be smoother, that might be better for most people. So let's get back to this beer. White head, about half a finger of head, small and medium bubbles. Lots of carbonation, hazy, a little chill haze. I can see the light box, but I can't make out the profile. Let's go ahead and smell. Floral. There is some a hint of citrus, but that floral does stick out. Some maltiness, some sweet toasted malt, lightly toasted malt, I should say, in there. But for a beer that's 10 months old, I could see that. It does seem like that whatever hops used first, that Cascade or that Centennial, you're really getting that more than anything. So because this is using the Cascade as the First Wort Hop, I am getting some more of that floral over that citrus. Let's go ahead and taste. It is a little on the warm side. Now, I've done 4, 5, 6, and 7. But this is a lot smoother. The bitterness seems like it's really cranked up, though. Definitely more than 33.4 IBUs. Let's say 60, 70 IBUs in this. But it is a lot smoother. Like, you do get some of that floral citrus up front. a little sweet malt, not honey malt, just sweet malt, and then that bitterness just really takes over. It, yeah, it's definitely a smoother taste than the other ones that I've had today. And I think two of the ones I've had today use the Centennial or Cascade up front. Then the other one used the Centennial. And it's got that same flavor profile as that Cascade, as those other Cascade ones, but it is a lot smoother. But the bitterness is like twice the amount of those other ones. Yeah, nice, smooth, easy drinking, goes down easy, but that bitterness, like if that bitterness was toned down like halfway, this would be a good summer beer. I really don't like floral, and I could take this. I think that floral and citrus, generic citrus, really mixes well. I'm not getting that bitterness isn't coming off as like a grapefruit rind like I get out of Centennial. It's just full on bitterness in this beer. Medium body. What, we're not over 7, right? Yeah. Medium body. Yeah, I think everything works except for the how much bitterness is here. Would I make it again? No. Just because of that bitterness. I would have to figure out if that bitterness was there at the beginning, or what it was like at the beginning. I don't watch the videos before I do the review, like the older ones. I have a hard time believing that this beer was this smooth and having this many IBUs or perceived bitterness in here. But I'll go back and look. If I could get a beer this smooth with less bitterness, I would be fine. Because that floral's not that big. Either is the citrus, so it's fine. It's easy drinking. It's a good beer. As I said, except for the bitterness. There is some sweetness in back. I'm guessing that's just because that malt is starting to take over, and I get a lot of sweetness out of these older beers. But yeah, perfectly fine. If you enjoyed this video, check some more out over here. And until next time, happy brewing.